For most of our lives, the solar system had 9 planets. It was a fact, like the sky being blue. Then, all of a sudden, there were 8. It was a decision that kicked up a ton of debate, made every science textbook instantly out of date, and left a lot of us just scratching our heads and wondering, what on earth happened to Pluto?
Yeah, for pretty much the entire 20th century, this was just settled science. 9 planets. And Pluto was the mysterious, icy little guy at the very edge of it all. And then, poof, it felt like it happened overnight. It was just gone from the list. It felt like a demotion, right? A huge cosmic controversy that made us all ask that same simple question. Wait, what happened?
So let's just rewind a bit and look at the clock. Pluto was first spotted way back in 1930. It was a huge deal, hailed as the 9th planet everyone had been looking for. And it held on to that title for 76 years. I mean, that's longer than a lot of people live. Then, in 2006, the astronomers got together and made a call that completely redrew the map of our cosmic backyard.
Okay, so to really get why Pluto got the boot, we first have to understand what Pluto actually is. Let's dig in and build a profile, kind of like we're investigating a cosmic mystery. Let's get to know our main suspect.
Right off the bat, the first clue that something was different about Pluto is its size. It is tiny, like really tiny. At just under 1,500 miles across, it's actually smaller than our own moon. And that, right there, a planet being smaller than a moon, that was a major red flag for astronomers.
And oh man, is it cold. Because it's so incredibly far from the sun, it's one of the most frigid places in the entire solar system. We're talking about a surface temperature that hovers around a mind-numbing negative 375 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a world just locked in a deep, deep freeze.
But here's the really cool part. That frozen surface isn't just one boring kind of ice. It's this complex, fascinating cocktail. You've got vast plains and glaciers of frozen nitrogen, mixed with methane ice, and even good old-fashioned water ice. And all of that is covering a rocky core. So yeah, anyone who calls Pluto just a simple snowball has got it all wrong.
Its whole sense of time is just as wild. Get this, a single year on Pluto, that's just one trip around the sun, takes 248 of our Earth years. Can you imagine that? But at the same time, it spins incredibly slowly. One day on Pluto lasts for more than 6 Earth days. This wild orbit and slow spin make it a truly alien place.
So for decades, we kind of pictured Pluto as this lonely little wanderer out there in the darkness. But as our telescopes got way, way better, we discovered a huge plot twist. Turns out, Pluto isn't alone at all. It's actually part of a massive, super crowded neighborhood.
And this is that neighborhood. It's called the Kuiper Belt. The best way to think of it is like a second, much bigger asteroid belt, but way out past Neptune. It's this huge, frozen disk made of countless icy bodies, basically the leftover stuff from when our solar system was born. And as it turns out, Pluto lives smack dab in the middle of it.
And this, right here, is the heart of the problem. You see, a real planet is supposed to be the gravitational king of its orbit. It either sucks up or throws away all the other junk in its path. Well, Pluto doesn't do that. Its orbit is full of other objects. And the real game changer came in 2005, when astronomers found another object out there called Eris. And Eris was even more massive than Pluto. So the big question became, if Pluto is a planet, shouldn't Eris be one too? And where does it end? That discovery forced the issue.
So, astronomers were faced with a solar system that was suddenly a lot more complicated than they'd thought. They realized they couldn't just keep adding planets to the list. They needed a clear, official definition of what a planet actually is. And so, it was time for the verdict.
In 2006, the International Astronomical Union laid down the law. It's a 3-point checklist. Number 1, it has to orbit the sun. Okay, Pluto does that. Check. 2, it needs to be big enough for its own gravity to squash it into a round shape. Yep, Pluto does that too. Check. But then came rule number 3, the deal breaker. It must have cleared its orbital neighborhood. And on that one, Pluto fails. Big time. Its neighborhood is one of the most crowded places around.
And just like that, Pluto was reclassified. It became the poster child for a brand new category of object, the dwarf planet. This is the official title for worlds that tick the first 2 boxes. They're round, they orbit the sun, but they just haven't managed to become the gravitational boss of their own turf.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a sad story, right? A demotion. But what happened next turned this into a story of incredible discovery. Honestly, this wasn't an end for Pluto. It was a brand new and way more exciting beginning.
Because think about it, for almost its entire life in our minds, from 1930 all the way to 2015, Pluto was just a fuzzy little dot of light. Even in our most powerful telescopes, that's all we could see. We knew it was there, but we had no clue what it actually looked like. But then, that all changed.
When NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, it sent back pictures that just blew everyone away. It revealed this world that was more beautiful and more complex than anyone had ever dreamed. We saw giant mountains made of water ice that were taller than the Rocky Mountains. We saw huge, sweeping glaciers made of frozen nitrogen, a thin, hazy blue atmosphere, and of course, that iconic, beautiful heart-shaped region on its surface. This was no dead rock. It was a dynamic, geologically active world.
So you see, the story of Pluto isn't really about a demotion. It's about a promotion. It's about finding its true and frankly much cooler identity. It's not some tiny misfit planet at the edge of the real solar system. No way. It is the largest, most complex, most fascinating world we've yet seen in this whole new region of space. It is the undisputed king of the Kuiper Belt.
And that leaves us with one final, incredible thought. This whole debate about whether Pluto is a planet or not forced us to look deeper into the dark, outer edges of our solar system. And what we found wasn't just a demoted planet, but a world of shocking, breathtaking complexity. And it just makes you wonder, if this is what the very first world in the Kuiper Belt we visited up close looks like, what other amazing secrets, what other incredible worlds are still waiting for us out there in the dark?